What's going on, everyone? It's Jeremy with JMed's Brick Clicks. I wanted to do a best of, or maybe a top 10 of my favorite sets. I get asked a couple times, what's your favorite set? What is your top couple? Well, I've kind of went through it, and it's kind of hard to pick 10. I've got 8 or 9, so I don't really know. I know my favorite one for sure, but in an order below 10, I don't know. What I'm going to do is show you my 10. I guarantee you they're different than yours. I guarantee you several of them may not be on your list. I bet one or two at least will be. Maybe a surprise or two. Going through this list, I kind of noticed I actually have boxes to several of these sets, and I don't really collect boxes. And I know you see some boxes, but maybe there's a reason why. So anyway, let's get into it. We're going to start off, and like I said, most of them, they're not in order. One of my top favorites, so we'll say just number 10. Random order, though. The Mountain View Observatory. This Bricklink Designer Program set came out this year. Kind of was released and created last year, but actually was able to buy if you'd pre-ordered this year, 2023. I added it to the top of my mountain, on top of my train tunnel, added all the stuff around it. But I love how this rotates. The thing itself, the big telescope, can raise and lower. And then the doors can close if you want them closed. So, really cool design, and it's just rotating off of tiles. But it's really smooth. You see the light brick in the back. We've got 3 stories. Probably the set that I think has the most cheese slopes of any set that I've done. It's kind of a pain. If you guys know that, if you've built this set, you know. All the cheese slopes up here. Why we didn't use 1x2 cheese slopes instead of 1x1s, I will never know. Got 6 of them there. Anyway, that's one of them. The next one, I don't really, like I said, we'll just call it number 9. The Lion Knight's Castle. I kept the box. I might be getting rid of that box for more shelf space. I may just cut out the front of the box and put it as a backdrop. But yeah, being a castle guy, I grew up in the 80s. I had some castle sets, never any big stuff, especially, nothing close to this even existed. But still, it's a really cool set. When I built mine, I put it on my shelf. I ended up buying a backdrop of that sunset design, kind of like this. I have just some command strips, kind of a cheat to get them in there. I added some extra dragons, and yeah, there's one of the sets I got as a kid. Anyway, this is really, really a cool set. If I end up putting it somewhere in the city or doing a display, yeah, this will be a prime piece for whatever I do if I do a castle display. Number 8, yeah, I got the box to that one too. My airport shuttle, the monorail. I think most of the box is still full complete. Got a little box dings and stuff on it for a 30-something-year-old box, but hey, it's a really cool set. Now I have mine nowhere near how it comes in the set. Mine goes into a building, it stops and turns around, and I made my own station down there that it goes to. I might do some expanding on it, but anyway, yeah, this is something I really wish Lego would come out with and upgrade. And if they use the battery motor system, make it controllable with a remote control. And you can't tell me they don't have that ability to add something like that to that when that's got a battery box built into it to make this a controllable, awesome design monorail that would just fly off the shelves and be sold out constantly, just like the big Star Wars sets always are. All right, so that was number 8. All right, my next one, number 6, be sure we get this right, is a tractor. I know what you were thinking before. is, well, all he's doing is big, massive sets. And all he's doing is new sets other than one that everybody likes, the monorail. Now we're going to start getting down to some more, maybe some more ones that wouldn't be on your list. This one, my favorite tractor. I only have the box cover because I keep it on the shelf behind my tractor displays. Why is this one of my favorites? I think I've bought 8 of these tractors. Yeah, 8. And believe it or not, I have modified every single one. This one here, yeah, I know it doesn't look like it until you look at the back and you see the lift arms that can raise and lower. And when I say I've modified 8, let me grab a few so you can see the fleet. So here's 6 of them. I do still have 2 in the box. Trying to do a full, just covering a lot of the tractors. My John Deere is my favorite. Our Lamborghini tractor, taking the bucket off. Hardly, well, really, I think I'm about the only one that has a Batman bat tractor with a grapple on the front. We've got our Kubota with our forks. We've got our New Holland with our hay spike and hay bale. And there's our original. So yeah, I've gotten a lot of video content out of this one tractor. I've gotten a lot of enjoyment trying to build these different colors and just the ideas of attachments on the front, on the back. My newest attachment right now is for burning weeds out of the field using these boom sprayers, or like a boom burner. Yeah, sure. Anyway, plows, rakes, hay balers, all that stuff made for these type of tractors. That's why it's one of my favorite ones. Let's see what's next. Here's one of those rare ones, or not really rare to see on somebody's top 10 list. This is one of my very first, probably my very first Technic tractor. It's also got a bunch of other stuff you can build. So it does have the boom sprayer on it, which doesn't like to stay, but it'll stay up. Steering. Yeah. Cool thing with this set, Lego does this dune buggy tractor combo. They've done it like 6 or 7 times. Check it out on eBay if you want to just look that up for Lego tractors, how many times the dune buggy tractor combo was done. I think this may have been the first. There's our dune buggy. You also had the chance or attachment you could add instead of the sprayer to make a plow. But that's not all. This is like the intro to Technic stuff. So you have other stuff to build, which is really cool. If you wanted to do other cars, the scale, a working scale. I had to try to just make that with the pieces that I got now, because I'm sure I bought this set twice. The second time just to get the box, which Toys R Us. Oh, and yeah, it opens just like the old sets did with the tray. And yeah, the original catalog is in there. What other stuff is in here? Another car. There's your tractors. Yeah, they give you some ideas. Oh, and you could do the powered up set, or whatever that was back then, the powered up thing with the battery pack. Yeah, it was a really cool set to have to learn how to use Technic. I think Technic now, it's feast or famine, all in, or a little tiny, just a little tiny set that you might be too easy, but then $400 or $500 Ferrari that you make one mistake and it's 5 or 6 hours to fix it. But yeah, this is how I got into Technic. Cool tractor, still one of my favorites. If I didn't lose you on the last one, I might on this one. So my next favorite one, the architecture set for San Francisco. Really cool little set. This one, a lot of these might, some of them they're going to be special to me. So San Francisco, love Alcatraz, Golden Gate Bridge. You see Coit Tower, Painted Ladies, the little trolley car. Okay, so why is this one special? It's because I got engaged on the overlook once you cross San Francisco, right here. That's where I got engaged. I'll try to throw a picture up if I think about it, if I can remember to do it. And yeah, that's where it happened. So that's why as soon as we got back from that trip, I'd already bought this set and had it built, and it was sitting in the living room when we got home, and then my wife was surprised again. So yeah, you'll notice I kept the box too. It's kind of an ongoing trend. I just got to notice that as I was going through this list that most of my sets, I have the box. That includes the Observatory that I started with, because it's a Bricklink set box. I keep those boxes because there's no other way to prove you own the set, really. All right, what's our next one? The next one, yeah, we're going to change gears a little bit. Kind of some classic space to me. Early 90s, the Spectral Star Guider. This is my favorite space set. And yeah, it's not even a spaceship, at least at first glance. It has shocks, which still today, that impressed me. So we have steering in the back. Also, the coolest thing about this set was it could come apart. And if you wanted to make a spaceship, you could. You got your spaceship there. Or if you needed to have a spaceship and kind of just a vehicle, and you could just use this as a spaceship because it's got its own little thrusters. Have that go around and then use this. Interchangeable. Now this really isn't as much because of the pins, but still nonetheless, it's a great little set. You need to open this up to be able to access that. So you've got just a little stand. And then this guy, you can just plow through everything. Yeah, it's a really cool piece that they used to be able to make those shocks on all these, along with the gearing and turning, which is really, really basic, but it works with just some basic Technic pieces. So this was one of my favorite sets when I saw it when it came out back when I was a kid. And aside from that one little bent antenna, you just need to dust it off a tiny bit. And yeah, what do you guys think? Is that on your list? Okay, here's another favorite, the Mystery Machine. Now while mine does have all the characters in it, this didn't come with all the characters, especially the $75 plus Velma, what it cost to get that minifig. Or I don't think it came with Daphne either, so I had to buy those separate just to get a full collection. But yeah, I got this as soon as I remember it coming out. Man, it's almost 10 years ago. Now my son's into Scooby-Doo, so been watching a lot of Scooby-Doo lately. It's a fun set, very colorful, and it fits in the city fairly well. Even though it's an 8 wide build at the widest spot, it does still fit in the city. Unlike a lot of the Speed Champs cars. Keeping with the space theme, this was my favorite set for the longest time. I got this as a kid, Christmas morning. You get the space shuttle, and it's like the first minifigure scale space shuttle that Lego ever came out with. And you got it on Christmas Day. Yeah, really cool. Got that piece that goes over, the inside opens when you have a little satellite in there that can be opened up and put into orbit. We've got our thrusters, our tank. We can even move it. And then we've got our little crew and our astronaut. Yeah, this was really cool as a kid. Even today, it holds up. And you got this awesome base plate with this road, like smaller road piece. I couldn't tell you how many houses I built when using this as a driveway. So that was my number one for the longest time. Like I said, these are my top 10, and it's only the top 10 of sets that I own and built. There may be other ones out there that I'd love to have that I don't own, but these are the favorite ones that at least I've got enjoyment out of. Let's take a look at a couple honorable mentions, because it wouldn't be a top 10 video if you didn't do honorable mentions. Isn't that a requirement now? Let's take a look. Ghostbusters HQ and Ecto 1. I was going to put this in my list, and it's like I don't want to separate the two. So that's going to be in my list, but I'm combining these two sets because if you have one and you don't have the other, it doesn't really work. Yeah, I got some more monorail track. Oh, right now it's Christmas time, so that's why we have a Christmas tree on top. And we have the Stay Puft guy from the Dimension sets. But really cool building. Opens up kind of like a dollhouse on the side. And basically it's built to have that separate set in there. So that's in my top 10. It's not really an honorable mention, but maybe one of these is, one of them isn't. One's an honorable mention, one's an actual set number, or in my top 10. I'll just combine them together and you pick which one needs to be labeled the way you want it. Another honorable mention, not Santa, who fits decently well on top of the Home Alone house, but the Home Alone house. This was honestly one of the first two movies as a kid I remember seeing in theaters. It was either this or the original Ninja Turtles movie. I know they came out around the same time, and I don't remember. I need to check. I think this came out first. I know Ninja Turtles was 1989. I think this may have been 1990. Anyway, really cool set. I got this on day one. All right, my last honorable mention, the Coliseum. Yeah, it's probably not on anybody's list. It is very repetitive, not very eye-catching, but I don't even think it'd be on my list if I hadn't been there. I went there in the year 2000. 9,000 pieces. At the time when I built it, it was the largest set ever. So having that little consolation thing of being there and having the largest set ever, yeah, it's an honorable mention. Let's see what it looks like now. Yeah, when you don't have a lot of space and you need to combine and use as much space as you can, my Coliseum is my tree holder for the fall season and some of the winter and summer season. Still a cool set. I just need to put these trees somewhere so I can get it and let it bask in all its glory that it is for the $500+ price tag that it cost me on Black Friday a few years ago. All right, number one. No, it's not the NASA spaceship. It's the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. I got an NES as a kid. I still have it today. When this came out, I got it day one. Got it together. Like I said, everything's here. I got it on day one. Buying it on my phone in the hospital room while my wife is having birth or giving birth on, well, the day of my son being born. That night before, about 13 hours before that, I bought this on my phone. So the set means a lot to me personally because I got it on the day that my son was born. I knew it was coming out, and it's like, this thing's going to sell out. It's 2020. Everything sells out on day one. If you don't get it, if I wait till morning, it's going to be too late. So my wife went in. She got induced right around 11 o'clock or midnight. I think just after midnight. At like 12:05, I'm sitting there on the couch. They're doing their thing with the doctors, and I'm buying this. So that's my number one story. That's why this set's here. I can't wait. My son's 3.5, almost 3.5 now. So when he gets older, I get to tell him this story. One of the reasons I kept the box. Let me know what you think. I know it may not be everybody's favorite, but for me, Yeah, this is the only thing that kind of beat the number one down there of getting that as a kid. So anyway, that's my video. That's my top 10 plus some extras. It's hard to keep count when you just start going through all fun stuff in your history of building. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.